Hello everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Marya Shakil. Doubling down on his attack on External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, senior Congress leader and leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi today reiterated his earlier claim that the centre informed Pakistan at the start of Operation Sindoor and said this wasn't a lapse but a crime, unquote. As expected, this drew a sharp response from the government and the BJP, which called it an utter misrepresentation of facts. The BJP has said that Rahul Gandhi is misrepresenting ministers' remarks, saying it reeks of malified intent. BJP has also questioned the timing of this charge. First up the story, and then I bring in the guests.
At the start of the operation, we had sent a message to Pakistan saying we are striking at terrorist infrastructure. We are not striking at the military. So the military has an option of standing out and not interfering in this process. They chose not to take that good advice.
A remark about messaging. Read by Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi as an actual message sent to Pakistan before Operation Sindoor began. Rahul Gandhi has accused External Affairs Minister of committing what he terms a crime, informing Pakistan at the start of India's attack, resulting in the loss of an Indian aircraft. Rahul Gandhi reiterated the question, how many fighters has India lost? The Ministry of External Affairs was quick to fact-check Rahul Gandhi, calling out the utter misrepresentation of facts. There were warnings at the start of the operation, but none before. And these were alluded to at the joint briefing after Pakistan was put in its place. Air Marshal Bharti even took a question on fighters lost at one of the briefings. Here's what he had to say.
So can you give a number of assets we lost? Because there's been a lot of speculation going on. International media writing a lot of things about our platforms, including Rafale.
The details, what could have been, how many numbers, which platform did we lose? You know, at this time, I would not like to comment on that because we are still in a combat situation. And if I comment on anything, it will only be advantage adversary. So we don't want to give him any advantage at this stage.
But the Congress took the battle forward, accusing the government of dealing in Sindoor. The BJP hit back in equal measure.
सिंदूर का सौदा होता रहा, प्रधानमंत्री चुप रहे. विदेश मंत्री के मुंह से एक शब्द नहीं निकल रहा, दोनों के मुंह से नहीं निकल रहा.
कांग्रेस पार्टी और कांग्रेस के नेता कितने गिरेंगे, ये इससे पता चलता है जब एक बार फिर अपनी सेनाओं की क्षमता पर प्रश्न चिन्ह किसी और ने नहीं बल्कि स्वयं राहुल गांधी जी ने खड़ा किया.
The timing of Rahul Gandhi's questions under fire with the government in open book mode, from sending an all-party delegation across the world to present the right picture, to briefings, to parliamentary panels. The sole aim busting Pakistan's misinformation bid. Bureau reports NDTV.
Let's bring in the guests joining us on The Last Word tonight. Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have Colonel Rohit Chaudhary representing the Congress. Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist and columnist. And Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni is also joining us. Neerja Chaudhary, beginning with you. How do you look at the entire politics playing out? Many questions being raised by Rahul Gandhi, not once but repeatedly. And he is just, training his guns directly at the External Affairs Minister.
Yeah, well, Rahul Gandhi raised the question. He called it a crime that at the outset of the action, whether information was given. And to Pakistan, there will be terror bases that will be hit. The External Affairs Ministry has given its rebuttal. Well, it's the job of the opposition to raise questions if they have reservations or questions that are unanswered, and they demanded a special session of Parliament. And now, of course, they all have to be on the same page as delegation goes to world capitals to mobilize support for India's position against terror. So I think coming hours, days before that happens, and the briefing of the delegation is going to start tomorrow to hone that the delegation takes one view. And there are no divergent voices. So all this is happening just hours before that briefing, and there is confusion. It's unfortunate that the whole country stood as one after Pahalgam during Operation Sindoor, and then a delegation is about to go. And today, what do we see? We see government versus Congress, Congress versus Congress, a divided India alliance. And it's not a very happy situation. And I think the government should clarify whatever doubts, and the opposition also needs to be more restrained. Because things are, it's a combat situation continuing, and the Operation Sindoor continues. It's all, the challenge is not yet over.
So government must answer, opposition must exercise restraint is a message coming in from Neerja Chaudhary for both the politicians. But before I bring them in this discussion, Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, the point being made by Mr. Gandhi here is, what really happened? How many Indian aircrafts did we lose because Pakistan knew it? This wasn't a lapse, it's a crime. Point being made by External Affairs Ministry is that this is essentially misrepresentation of facts, and that has to be called out. When External Affairs Minister said that at the very beginning we informed Pakistan, what does it actually mean?
Thank you very much. Nothing. I personally feel people were not aware of operations, how they are launched, what it really means, and first and foremost, Operation Sindoor is ongoing. You heard the DGMO briefing, you heard the MR say very.
Yes. Sir, you have to unmute yourself. There seems to be okay, there is a problem with his audio. General Kulkarni, there is a problem with your audio. We'll try and fix that and come back to you.
Surely that's not the way the responsible opposition leader should be questioning. No question of questioning the government. Operation Sindoor is on, and therefore, even if the foreign minister has spoken to the counterpart on the other side and stated that, well, India is attacking all the terrorist locations and all of them, and therefore it is advisable that you keep the army off. The civilians will not be hit. But they did not agree to that, and the retaliation was there. I think it's fantastic. What could be better? And they stuck. And even I'm telling you, at 5 minutes past 1, the operation is launched. And even at 5 minutes past 1, he informs them that, look, we are doing this. How does it make any difference? You think the parties can do anything? Nothing they can do. So all these talks, all these things definitely does not speak good about anybody for that matter. And surely these kind of talks only help the enemy, and therefore they are always quoted by the enemy in their legislatures, in their parliament. I think something that they need to be worried about. Well, it is entirely them, and even using words like Sindoor, Sauda, Sandhya, is that the word to be used? These are the kind of words that anybody uses. I don't think so. It's absolutely disgraceful. Definitely, I would say, as a veteran, I feel very strongly. This was one operation which got the entire country united. This was one operation where we saw that we delivered. It was one operation that even the world is aghast as to what has hit them. And here we are, within our own country, people wanting to question. And then we are there to say, well, it's a democracy, you must come and tell us. Well, Operation Sindoor is on. I'm sure we have all the reports. 47, 48 is out, 65 is out, 71 is out, Kargil operations are out. The Siachen ongoing, it's all on. Everything is on in the paper.
Okay,
so
Colonel Chaudhary
is
also joining us. He's from the Congress party, and because he's also an army man, like you, sir. Let him respond to the concerns that you have raised, and then I bring in the BJP.
Jai, with due respect to General Kulkarni and all the co-panelists, I would like to say that that now the Operation Sindoor, it is held in abeyance. It is not on. It is not clearly on. Now it is the duty as our defense teaching is concerned, we must take lessons from the whatever has happened in last 15, 20 days. From the operations, from the military objectives, from the political objectives, and looking into the security, intelligence, and operational failure, which led to this two nuclear nations almost coming close to the war. Now, there are few important aspects which need to be seen. First, now since the operations are almost over as of now, or they are postponed, and I don't know for how long they've been postponed, but at this point in time, we must ask that what have we got, what have we lost? This is important to know. Now, it is important also that the External Affairs Minister comes on air and he says that at the start of the operations, we informed Pakistani counterparts that we are launching attacks. Who does it? Who does it? Surprise, shock action, secrecy. It is important for any key of for the success of any kind of operations. How can you go into war that when our forces, our troops are now handling our targets? They are seeing eye to eye with the enemy on the LOC, and at our back, our External Affairs Minister and our diplomacy and our government, it talks to the counterparts, their political counterparts, and tell them that look, we are ready and we are combating and they are coming and destroying your targets. You are forewarning them. You have allowed them to open up their radars. You have allowed them
Since you have called it a forewarning, since you have called it a forewarning, is it really, can this be seen as forewarning? First, Tuhin Sinha respond to that, then I'll ask General Sanjay Kulkarni.
Marya,
yes.
You know, I'm sorry if an ex-serviceman does not understand the difference between at the start and before the start. No wonder he belongs to the dim-witted present-day Congress party. Rahul Gandhi's repeated misinterpretation of the EAM, words.
I'm as much a
You dare not speak in between.
Please do not dare to talk like that.
You dare not speak in between.
Colonel Chaudhary, he was
dare not
patiently
speak in
listening to you.
between.
Please
Okay,
take
let's
your
have Tuhin
words
Dare
Sinha
not
on the
speak in
screen.
between.
not
Marya,
take
can
this
you mute
nonsense.
him?
Colonel
He does not,
Chaudhary,
his
he was
behavior does not
patiently
behove
listening
an
to you. He had
ex-serviceman.
extended
I'm
that
sorry.
courtesy.
I take
I'm
personal
sorry,
offense
his
to what you
behavior does
speak.
not behove an ex-serviceman.
Yes.
He has shown over here that he belongs to Rahul Gandhi's Congress party.
Okay, please go ahead, Tuhin.
Marya, I am appalled today. I am appalled. You know, Rahul Gandhi's repeated misinterpretation of the most innocuous words of EAM has a malified, has a sinister intent written all over it. Because the same words, the same facts have been corroborated by the DGMO. General Rajiv Ghai. You can play out the video so that, no Congress person can, fool around on this very sensitive issue. Now, the desperation with which they want to know our damages, we have not hidden anything. Of course, in due course of time, if at all there is a damage, the army would let them know. But their desperation at a time when India is launching one of its biggest diplomatic, reach outs across the globe, perhaps shows a larger conspiracy to derail this diplomatic reach out. And I think that needs to be called out. No responsible leader of opposition would do something like that. In fact, the desperation almost seems that they have been tasked by some of their foreign collaborators to find this out. Why don't they speak to Tom Cooper? Why don't they speak to John Spencer? They will get the answers. Have they not heard Tom Cooper and John Spencer, two of the greatest warfare, two of the most credible warfare experts? They will get their
Colonel
answers.
Chaudhary, please listen to him before I bring you in. You have to listen to other panelists and you have got your time. I'll give your time again. Please, let's extend that courtesy the way discussions should happen. Yes, go ahead, Tuhin.
If they are so desperate to find out, they might as well listen to Tom Cooper. They might as well listen to John Spencer, two of the most credible names in the, when it comes to warfare experts. But instead, they seem to be obsessed. They seem to be deriving some sort of a hidden joy by pinning, the Indian army establishment, the Indian military establishment at this point of time. And that is what is particularly worrisome about this present-day Congress party.
Okay, you have made your point. Let Colonel Chaudhary respond.
Can I?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
With due respect to Jal Kulkarni, first of all, we all are ex-servicemen. We have done our duties and we are experts in our own domain. And being from the Prithvi missile background and the nuclear background, I'm very much privy to a lot of things and I'm expert on that. So please do not raise any questions on the integrity of any officer. Secondly, the way we are not raising any kind of iota of question on the defense forces. Defense forces were given limited objective of hitting 9 targets. Then after that, countering the attack which was coming from the Pakistani side, and they have done beautifully. They have acted very well. Now my question is not to the DGMO, DG Air Ops, or anybody else. They have performed their task very well. Now the duty of the government was not to inform anything about the operations to their counterparts. That is worrisome. That is what is troubling us. When our troops are in war, then divulging vital information that we are coming, see that we are coming, and they open up their entire electromagnetic system, their radar system, air defense systems. And
should it be seen? No. Okay, then,
just a minute. Let me just complete.
Sure, sir. Sure.
So that at that point in time, if we have lost something and if we would have lost because of the divergence of information, then probably it would be a treachery and it would be a sabotaging the information.
Okay.
Now our next question is very simple and clear. All this has happened. Now it is the duty of the government to inform our citizens, our representatives, hold a parliament session. It was held in 1962 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee asked for this session, and it was honored and convened by Nehruji. And it is the duty of the government to take the entire citizens of the country on board.
Since you've made a specific point about special session, let me bring in Neerja. I'm going to come back to you, sir. I'm coming back to you. Please be patient. Yes, Neerja Chaudhary. Neerja Chaudhary, is a special session of Parliament. That's the demand that is coming in from India blog. Of course, there are 7 delegations being sent across the globe. This is all-party delegation, which will certainly show the camaraderie or the entire political class speaking in one voice, which is needed at this juncture. But a special session, should that be called? And the government should communicate to the entire country, although the Prime Minister has done so through the address to the nation. What do you think?
I think at some point it would be a good thing to do, to call a special session of Parliament. The timing of it will have to be decided. What suits us if we are undertaking such a global outreach as we are with 59 people as part of the delegation, 7 groups. It's a high-level thing happening. Do you do it before that, or do you wait for the group to come back and then do it? It actually strengthens. In the past also, when Parliament took a view under Narasimha Rao that POK belonged to India, it was a resolution passed by Parliament to which the opposition refers even now. If that say is reiterated by Parliament, or the principle that whatever we have to do between India and Pakistan is bilateral, that no third-party intervention, all those are stated principles over the decades accepted by India. If entire Parliament reinforces all that, then it strengthens India. It strengthens the government also, saying, look, to ward off pressure which must be coming, which has come in the past also. So, that we have an opposition to take care of and so on. So I think, and of course, to inform India and inform the opposition parties to meet their questions that are still unanswered. And that is the right of the opposition to ask those questions. So Parliament is the best forum to do that. But the timing of it will have to be decided wisely.
Tuhin, why not call a special session? You have already made your stand clear.
Well, we will call it when the time is right. Even in the corporate world, you share the information first with a core group and then, it gradually disseminates. when we feel the time is right. Right now, the priority are the diplomatic missions which are reaching out across the globe. And we are all aware, they have a task at hand. For the next 3 weeks, they will be occupied at it. At the end of it, surely we will consider and, get a parliament session. Have we not called all party meets? We have called twice over. We have called all party meets. The leader of the opposition is being kept, in the loop on almost everything. So I think, it's about time. I think the most important point today is to call out the Congress party's bluff. And I repeat for the umpteenth time, I'm finding it very difficult to imagine that the Congress party does not understand the difference between at the start and before the start. At the start simply means at the end of the 35 minutes when the 9 terror camps were struck down. I think if they don't understand it, they might as well note it down so that they don't ask this question again.
So at the start and before the start is the distinction being made here, General Kulkarni. Was the statement of the External Affairs Minister a forewarning as the Congress is alleging?
No, definitely not. Marya, come on. Nobody will ever compromise, and not the Foreign Minister. Definitely not him. Nobody will. He will definitely inform when the operations are even about to start, termination of the operation, that look, we've struck your terror target and that is it. For us, it's all over. Now, if you retaliate, then of course the retaliation will be very hard. And we want your military to lay off. We want everybody to lay off. We have struck your terrorist target. That's it. I don't think there should be nothing more can be attributed to it. And it's very normal. Why did the DGMO speak to our DGMO? It's primarily because he found it extremely difficult to take the operation beyond a certain threshold. So he obviously came online and wanted to speak to the DGMO part. Come on, stop it. Enough is enough. I think let's talk now. So that is how it is. Because he's been hit very hard, and at a time when it's one of the finest hours of operation, where else can you find such an operation? 9 terrorists launched the target hit. The location is extremely hard. You have there Masood Azhar crying, why did I not die? You have the whole family lined up. Here you have Pakistan, the coffins being wrapped up in the national flag. You have a Lieutenant General standing there for the funeral. What does that show? Complicity, the involvement, hand in glove that the Pakistan army are with the terrorists. Everything will explode. And all of it in the media. Nothing being hidden. No proof required. All of it over there. Then when the Pakistanis retaliate, then you just see the retaliation thereafter. 11 air bases hit. Their airstrip damaged, radar hit, everything is gone. They don't know what's happening in Karachi, Lahore, Rawalpindi, all over. What more do we expect? And thereafter you have someone come at 1 o'clock in the afternoon wanting to speak to the DGMO. Hey, come on, can we stop it? Can we talk? What else? It's almost surrender. And even after that, if we were to question the way you've gone about, come on, tell us this, and the operation that's
as a former serviceman yourself, don't you think that to say that, that the ministers or even anyone who is in position of authority and power would be revealing or forewarning the enemy? I mean, is that even possible? While we understand that you have all the right to raise the questions, and rightly so, you're the opposition, you have joined the all-party delegation now because all of you are heading to various countries. It's a global outreach which is happening. Should this question be raised right now, sir?
You're asking me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Look, there are few things which need to be answered. They are very important.
Sure.
As long as the operation was going on, I unequivocally we said one-line statement that we are with the government. Whatever punitive, strong action they want to take against the perpetrators of the terrorist act on 22nd April in Pahalgam, please go ahead. We are with you. Now, since the operations are on, now it is the duty of the government to come out and come clean. That whatever has happened, please inform to everybody. And the way ceasefire has been invoked, 10th May morning, the update briefing by 3 officers, 2 lady officers and the foreign secretary, it was excellent, and we were really enjoying. The entire nation was wanting that our forces are doing great job, and they will just probably get inside Pakistan and probably they'll break them into 5 pieces as it was done in 1971 war. Now, with that upbeat mood, can a DGMO call off and take a call that we are closing down and we are going for a ceasefire only just because that there is one phone call has come from their counterpart in Pakistan? See, the way ceasefire has been invoked, US President, he calls and he says that both the countries are great. They are fighting for Kashmir, and unnecessarily he's brought in Kashmir issue, which was non-issue at this point in time. Now, finally, he comes back and says that, I have enforced a ceasefire. The third party from 10,000 kilometers sitting away from third country, he says that, the ceasefire has been enforced between the two great nations, two great prime ministers. Probably Modi ji may accept it, BJP may accept it. We do not accept Pakistan as a great nation. It's a failed state. It's a terror state. It's a rogue state. Okay. And India is the fourth largest economy at this point in time. Best defense forces in the world.
Okay.
We cannot
Tuhin, respond to that.
it.
Quickly respond to that, and then I'll give the last word to Nija. Please go ahead. Tuhin, respond to that.
Well, Marya, the pretense of Congress party to stand up in national interest has collapsed today. And I think, they may ask 10 questions.
But you have them on board for the parliamentary delegation which is going.
No, Marya,
I'm sure you can't dismiss their nationalist sentiments either. They are part of the global, narrative building effort of the government.
In 1994, when Narasimha Rao ji made Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji head one of the delegations to Geneva, we were proud of Atal Bihari. Look at the way they are flustered and rattled just because, Shashi Tharoor is heading one of the most important delegations. This is the reality of the Congress party. They can't accept the fact that any of their nationalist voices come to the fore and are rewarded. They wanted Gaurav Gogoi to be sent. Gaurav Gogoi, who has all kinds of absurd allegations against him, to which he has no answer. They wanted Nazir Hussain to be sent. Nazir Hussain, at whose election to the Rajya Sabha, Pakistan Zindabad slogans were raised. This is the reality of the Congress party, and I'm glad that their facade of standing up for national interests has collapsed today with the repeated tweets of...
Then don't have them as part of the delegation.
Yeah, of course they are part of the delegation. 4 Congress leaders are going. Salman Khurshid is going.
Yes.
Ghulam Nabi Azad, who was one of the oldest Congress members is going. Anand Sharma is going. Of course they are going. But I think this Congress party needs to be more unequivocal about, standing up for India, which somehow, with these repeated obnoxious tweets of Rahul Gandhi, it does not show itself to be.
Okay. Nirja, you have just enough time to wrap up the last word. You get the last word on the last word tonight.
No, I think, number one, from the complete unity that we had, one voice, India stood together. There was no Hindu-Muslim, Kashmiris stood with the rest of India, opposition government on the same page. It was where India showed its inherent strength. Now to erupt so quickly into politics, I suppose it's inevitable in a democracy and to be expected. But the only thing one wishes that before this important initiative of a global outreach, I think somewhere something needs to give way for both sides to close ranks once again.
Okay, and what do you think that will be?
I don't know whether the BJP side reaches out to the LOP, makes them maybe in camera briefing, whatever is required. And I cannot believe also that the foreign minister of India is going to alert Pakistan after all that had happened.
Yes, absolutely. I
mean, it's unthinkable. Just as I find it very painful also that senior leaders of the Congress who, 4 leaders were named and the BJP has accepted one, Anand Sharma, the 3, Gaurav Gogoi included, he's the deputy leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha, and you to say he's pro-Pakistani and, question their loyalty to India, I think this is simply not on. You can have your way, you can have what you have to say, both sides.
Yes, but don't dismiss them as Pakistanis, just as it is wrong to say that External Affairs Minister would have forewarned Pakistan. It is wrong to also say that Rahul Gandhi is having some kind of alignment with Pakistan. Thank you so much for joining us. That's the right way to sum it up. As always, Neeja Chaudhary, pleasure having you on my shows. Colonel Rohit Chaudhary, Tuhin Sinha, and Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. That's all from me on this edition of The Last Word.